Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Thursday the 30th of September 2021. A lot going on today. We're going to start off with this one. More post-match comments from Gary Rowett. This is from the news@den.co.uk and it says Millwall's Gary Rowett on the ending run of consecutive draws and stretching unbeaten sequence. Gary Rowett admitted Millwall needed a lift after 4 consecutive draws and said their 6-match unbeaten league run looks better after their 1-0 victory over Bristol City on Wednesday evening. Jed Wallace scored the only goal from the penalty spot in the 64th minute. Millwall were 19th before the game, got moved up 5 places before their match against Barnsley at Oakwell on Saturday. It's difficult because our expectation is to win more games, of course, Rowett said. But when you're going away to places like West Brom and getting a draw and being disappointed with it, I think it shows a decent level of performance. Places like Swansea shows a decent level, Forest, but when you're not picking those 3 points up at home in games like Coventry, the Blackburn game, when we probably should have a little bit more at times, it makes it look disappointing. We all felt disappointed with those draws. I can assure you the last couple of games to come in with 1 point felt like we were lost. The players, you could see it, everyone felt frustrated. So we just needed that tonight. We needed that lift, that 3 points. It didn't really matter how we got it. I thought there were moments when we played quite well, moments when we looked a bit edgy. But the 3 points makes that run look a little bit better. With one more game before the international break, it will be a tough game. But if we can put another big performance in, you'll see how the league table changes after 3 points at this moment so early in the season. And yes, you can see the league table there, up to 14th, 12 points. We were one of 5 teams on 12 points. Another win at Barnsley on Saturday will see us into the top 10 probably. No doubt. So more comments from Gary Rowett about the change of shape. This is also from news@den.co.uk. Mill boss on change of shape against Bristol City with new role for Liverpool's Shea Ojo. Millwall boss Gary Rowett explained why he changed from the usual shape against Bristol City and played Shea Ojo in a central position rather than on the wing. Rowett's preferred formation this season has been 5-2-3, but Ojo started in front of midfielders George Evans and George Saville to link the play to forwards Matt Smith and Benik Afobe. Afobe was fouled by Rob Atkinson to give substitute Jed Wallace the chance to score the only goal from the penalty spot. We felt as though they would have 3 midfielders. We banked on them playing a 3-5-2. They played 4-4-2 a lot this season, Rowett said. They played against QPR away from home and won the game. They changed against Fulham late on at the point of the game, so we felt that's what they would do. So we felt we needed an extra layer in there, that it would be tough for our 2 midfielders to play against 3 for the whole game. We put Shea in almost a 10 position and hoped that Benik playing higher in a more natural position would help him rather than playing a bit wider. That was the reason behind it. I thought Shea showed some lovely touches. He's still battling back to full fitness. He'd been out a while and I think he'll get better and better. We've got 3, 4, 5 strikers that can play in any front 3 or front 4, depending on how we play. We've got those options and it's up to me to pick the right options in the right games. If it's a counter-attacking game and then the 3 you mentioned, Wallace, Afobe and Ojo, are going to be very dangerous when they're fully fit. So there's Gary Rowett still commenting on yesterday's result against Bristol City. Moving on now. Oh no, we've got this from londonnewsonline.co.uk, still about the Bristol City game. 4 takeaways. They're 4 takeaways. From Millwall's 1-0 win. Yep. Yeah, they give you the thing, and then we're just going to jump into the 4 takeaways they mentioned. Okay. Jed fast off the mark. Wallace made his return from illness as a replacement for Matt Smith on the hour mark, with Millwall on the ropes after a shaky start to the second half. Just 4 minutes later, Wallace had slammed his penalty into the top right hand corner to fire Millwall into the lead. Even by Wallace's impressive usual standards, that's quite an impact. In truth, it was his introduction that sparked Millwall into life after they made a disappointing start to the second half. Indeed, I'll show you that later. His presence lifted the Lions both on and off the pitch and in the stands, and Bristol City couldn't cope with his endless energy. He linked well with Benik Afobe to create a couple of half chances, and Millwall tried to grab a second to kill the game off. Gary Rowett's comments after the game where he suggested he toyed with the idea of starting Wallace but felt that Matt Smith deserved the spot appeared to indicate that the Lions talisman isn't suffering any adverse effects from his illness and is seemingly ready, if called upon, to start against Barnsley on Saturday. Smudge let down. Oh, what's this about? Smith made his third league start in a row for the Lions against Bristol City, a far cry from last season when he struggled to get a run in the side. But he was starved of any quality service again for the majority of Wednesday night, despite having a phobia playing alongside him in an orthodox front two. A teasing ball from Scott Malone in the early minutes of the game was probably the only sniff of a decent ball he had all night. Lions boss Rowett admitted after the match that he felt Smith deserved the nod ahead of returning Wallace due to his first team involvement over the past few games, and he'll have been more frustrated than anyone with the lack of quality ammunition that was afforded to the big striker. Smith has shown before that he can be a real game changer at this level, but on this occasion his teammates failed to give him the platform he needed to really deliver against one of his former clubs. Well, when you've got Aisha Yojo playing in the middle and not on the wing, he's not going to be delivering balls into Matt Smith, is he? So that's how it works. Return of the Mac. Millwall were boosted by the return of Danny McNamara on Wednesday night. The Lions Academy graduate has been missing since the 2-1 defeat to Fulham with a groin injury, but the right wing back slotted back into the side with ease, contributing effectively in both defence and attack in the 1-0 win over the Robins. Ryan Leonard has performed admirably in McNamara's absence, but the 22-year-old gives Millwall an extra dimension on the right flank. Afobe also returned to the starting lineup whilst Wallace returned from illness to make it to the bench. Alex Pearce and Ben Thompson didn't make the matchday 18 after his options increased for probably the first time this season. You could argue that Rowett was able to pick his first choice side, albeit with Jake Cooper and Wallace on the bench for different reasons, with only Mason Bennett and Conor Mahoney missing. This is the best shape Millwall have been in for some time now. It's on them to turn some of those recent draws into wins. Well, you can't do that because what's done is done. It's in the past. We need to win the games that are coming up, especially this Barnsley one. That's a winnable game. That is a game we probably could and should win, and we'll see if we do it. Hutch's impacts. Sean Hutchinson put in another massive defensive performance for Rowett side in SC16. It's not a coincidence that the Lions recorded just their second clean sheet of the season by shutting out Bristol City on Wednesday night. Hutchinson was rock solid all night for Millwall and had veteran Robin striker Chris Martin in his pocket. He showed superb awareness to get Murray Wallace out of jail with a flying block after Wallace had misjudged a long ball over the top. If you look at that closely, the touch actually comes from Biakowski. Although Hutch, he does put the guy off by running there and sliding in at the same time, but the guy does get the shot away, and Biakowski he saves it. Hutchinson was dominant in the air all night, and his tally of 6 clearances alongside Wallace was the highest amount amongst the Lions squad. It certainly feels like the defensive stability that Millwall fans have grown used to and arguably come to expect over recent years is on the way back. It's not a coincidence that Hutchinson's return has coincided with that. Indeed. Like you watch him and you think, well, what is he doing? But it's like, well, he's doing something. I mean, you'll probably have to sit there with a microscope and watch him intently to see what he actually does. But whatever he's doing, it's fantastic. It's amazing, and it works. It's absolutely brilliant. So that's the Bristol City game done and dusted. Now we're going to move on to the daily injury. Hello and welcome to the daily injury. I'm going to tell you about this day's injury from Millwall. Another major injury blow for Millwall. Scott Malone set to miss game against Barnsley. Millwall could be without Scott Malone for Saturday's championship game with Barnsley at Oakwell. Malone went off with a quad injury. With 4 minutes left in the 1-0 win over Bristol City at the Den on Wednesday night, Jake Cooper came on for him and could return to the centre of defence, and Murray Wallace moving to the left wing back position against the Tykes. We're slowly getting players back fit. You saw a game for a little spell at the front three, who I think will be really dangerous for us. Scott Malone looks like he's going to be out for a little bit again. We've not had much luck. We need to win the game tonight, and we've done just about that. Indeed, and he was one of the players that mentioned was... he was kind of playing on with a knock, just because there were so many injuries in the squad. So I imagine that's kind of caught up with him, and he's actually got the a proper injury now, and so we've got one game on Saturday against Barnsley, and then we've got the international break. So hopefully he can rest up, fix himself up, and be back in a couple of weeks, along with Conor Mahoney and Mason Bennett. But we'll see. So, but I think Murray Wallace could do a job against Barnsley. Yeah, I can't see why not. Yeah. So tomorrow. Now, the under-23s are playing Queen's Park Rangers, and the game is at the Den. It's 1 PM kickoff. It's £5 to get in, £1 if you're a junior. If you're a season ticket holder who's a junior, you get in for free. Although, why aren't you at school? It's Friday at 1 o'clock. Yeah. Get to school. So it's Friday afternoon, 1 PM. You can buy tickets online in advance, so you just rock up on the day. You can buy in person when you get there. Now, we played on Monday against Cardiff away, and we lost 2-0. QPR played at home, I think, on Tuesday, so they've had one less day. So they're playing Tuesday, Friday. Now, this could be a good game for us, given that fact that they're playing Tuesday, Friday. Yeah. So this could be a game that we could win. I can't see why not. So, yeah, if you're interested, get down to Den tomorrow, 1 PM kickoff. First under 23s that is actually open to the public, and I will be going. Well, hopefully, if I wake up in time, and I don't feel too shit. But hopefully I'm intended to go, and I'll tell you about it in tomorrow's video. So we're gonna move on now to this. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. They put out a call last week. If any Millwall fans are running the marathon, get in touch and now spread the word. So they've got this here. They put it up. They got 22 responses. So this Sunday, thousands of people will pound the streets of London for this year's version of the Virgin Money London Marathon. A selection of Millwall fans will complete the 26.2 mile course for various charities, and you can back them here. So, yeah, it's being run on the 3rd of October instead of the 3rd of April. I don't know, it seems a bit weird. It's always the first week of April. So let's just roll through these. So Will Powell. So if you go on to the Millwall website, you can see these things. You can see the link. Click on the links. If you want to donate to any of these runners, feel free. If you've got money burning in your pocket, if you had a win in the bookies or something, if a charity that you're gonna usually give to anyway, and you've got these people running for it, so just do it via that anyway. If you usually give them money anyway. So we got Will Powell running for Shelter. We got Tom Hayes running for Children with Cancer. We got Daniel Penn running for Macmillan Charity. We got Sam Seeley running for Scope. We got Peter Woolard running for the Circle Collective. Kevin Downey, Children with Cancer. Matthew Marshall, Hucklecote Community Centre. Ian Powell, Macmillan Cancer. Frankie Mines, Demelza. That's the hospice that Millwall announced like a official partnership with. Thomas Prisley, also for Demelza. Vicky Townsend for RNLI. David Elson for London Sport. Chris Frogley for Royal National Institute for the Blind. and also Beverly Beeson for Royal National Institute for the Blind. Harry Watts for National Autistic Society. Neil Rank, for another one for Macmillan, so that's 3 for Macmillan now. Charlie Anderson, Batsy Dogs and Cats Home. Stephen Harding and Jessica Goffberg running for Sense. Ben Foley, Abigail's Footsteps. Kirsty Burns, Well Child. Carly Rawlington Simmons, Dockland Settlement. And Sophie Kendall, Alzheimer's Society. So there you go. If you're flush with a bit of cash and you want to donate some money to charity, if you could do it via these Mill fans accounts as they're running for the marathon, that would help them and that would help the charity, and I imagine it'll make you feel good as well. So just click on this link. I might leave the link in the comments if you're interested in that. So now, today's video is the day after a match, and as always, the day after a match, we like to go through the post-match stats. So this is the end of the normal video. If you're not interested in stats, thank you for watching. Go off and find another video on YouTube to watch or on BitChute. Thank you, good night. Now, any of you staying, we're going to move on to the stats from yesterday's win over Bristol City, and we're going to start off as usual with experimental 361, the expected goals over the course of the 90-minute match. Millwall in blue, Bristol City in red, and the total is 1.8 to Millwall and 1.2 to Bristol City. So that is that's good for us defensively, because they should have had 1.2 goals. They had 0. So that's a good defensive display from Millwall, with Sean Hutchinson back in the defence. Now, we had 1, 2, 3 shots before they had 1. So we had 3 shots and then they had 3 shots. They had the Murray Wallace one that Sean Hutchinson bailed him out. That's the big massive red line that's jumping up. That was a very good chance. Very, very good chance. And then we had a spell where we didn't have a shot on target from about 13 to 29. And then you can see at the end of the first half, they had a higher XG than us. They had better chances than us. Their line, you can see the red line is higher than the blue line. And then you can see again, like he said there, who said that? So someone said about Jed Wallace coming on and waking up the Millwall team after the poor start to the second half. You can see here, look at the flat line. Always, for some reason, always at the start of the second half, we either concede or we have a really poor start. And you can see here, not one chance on goal until the penalty. And in return, Bristol City have 2 shots over the space of 5 minutes. And then after between us getting that penalty, they don't have another chance from about 58 to 78. So 20-minute spell for them not having a decent chance on goal, and from when Jed Wallace came on and us doing more attacking stuff. So you can see that big jump, the massive jump in blue line, and the blue circle. That's the goal. That's because the penalty is basically a free shot on goal. Like, there is a keeper there trying to stop you, but you can see Jed Wallace 0.8 expected goals, and that was the penalty, because you're expected to score that. It's basically a 1-in-1 chance. And so that jumps us up, and Bristol City don't really do anything until they get a couple of chances late on. And we have a couple of chances late on as well, but you can see Jed Wallace comes on, changes the game. It literally changes the game, because flat line, no chances on goal from 46 minute to 62 minute. Nothing. And then we get the penalty, and then boom. It's show business again. Moving on now to infogol.net. So you can see in the middle here. So similar. They give the XG as 1.67 to Millwall, 1 to Bristol City. Still good that they didn't score. They should have scored 1 goal. They didn't score. We should have scored 1.5, but that's either going to be 1 or 2. So, and there's the match events. You can see Nathan Baker, formerly of Millwall, on loan from Aston Villa back in the day. Anyone remember him? He got injured and went off in 31 minutes. They made a change on 55, and then we made our changes. Matt Smith came off. Jed Wallace came on, and 4 minutes later, penalties in the net. 1-0 Millwall. Bosh. And then Shea Yojo went off. Billy Mitchell came on, and it was more. Then it was more of a flat 3 in midfield. He played in the middle. It was a flat 3 with Saville, Mitchell, and Evans. And then McNamara got booked, and then Malone came off injured when Jake Cooper went on, and then Murray Wallace moved off to replace Scott Malone, and Jake Cooper played on the left of the 3. Oh, unbelievable. So they said Millwall would win. So they tipped us to win, and that's kind of strange because their tips are normally dog shit. So they actually got one right this time. So what did the players rate? So here we go. Really? Okay. So this website, the player ratings on this website absolutely fucking baffle me. They've got George Saville as the lowest rated of 5.75. I mean, George Saville was absolutely superb last night. They got Shea Ojo at 5.91. So who did I give the highest rating to for Millwall? Bart Biakowski. That's kind of weird. I imagine it's because he had a number of shots on top, on goal, and he saved them. But so Millwall won the game, but none of their players are man of the match. So which Bristol City player got man of the match? Robert Atkinson, the guy who gave away the penalty. Oh, fuck off! This site is fucking dog shit. Why do I use them? To be honest, the only reason I like this site is this map. To be honest with you, just between you and me, I like this map. So this is the map of the XGs, or the shots on goal, as it were, and they have to be shots on goal to be counted as an XG. If it's a shot that goes over the bar, that's not an XG, because that's just a kick over the bar. So you can see Millwall have 2 really good chances. The one was the penalty, and the other one was, what was that? Benicophobe. Yeah, Benicophobe should have. He had to think quickly, but he probably could have put that in. Probably could have. This was the one that they had. Wyman. I think that was the Murray Wallace missing the header one, when Hutchinson ran back and then Biakowski saved it. That's probably why Biakowski got a high score. So let's have a look at first half. So there you go. 5 in the box, 2 outside the box. Pretty even in terms. Yeah. We definitely want the better team on paper. I mean, they had about similar chances than we did. Second half. So we have the penalty, and then we have very few chances. And they have very few chances as well. They have that one. That's from Wyman. Okay. It's a fairness rating. Was that a fair result? 84 out of 100. Yeah, it's a fair result. Well, I imagine if one team has a penalty, you would back them to score it, and then that would be the fair result. But you can see there's not much going on up front for Millwall in that second half. So Billy Mitchell 89, Jed Wallace, and Benekophobe. So yeah, not a lot going on there. Okay, so moving on now to the big one, whoscored.com. Their match summary. Millwall were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from long shot situations. Millwall were caught offside often, and Millwall had a large quantity of possession in their opponent's half and favoured through balls. Bristol City were poor at finishing and favoured through balls indeed. So attempts 11 to 10. Mill were on the left hand side. They had a red team. They always did a home team in red and the away team in blue. That's how it is. Hope and play 9-5. Set pieces 1-5 for them. No count, 1 penalty. Okay, so you can see here 11 shots, 1 goal. That's 9%. So not the best. Probably could have been higher with a Phobie getting that one-on-one and goal. But you can. Well, I want to show you what they mentioned earlier about. Look at that. Bristol City pack in the middle, trying to overrun the 2 that we have in the middle, and it didn't work because Shea Ojo was stuck in the middle, and Phobie and Smith were kind of in the middle as well. But what that meant was no one was kind of going down the wings. So you can see here, and for some reason Bristol City, something's going on their left wing there. 2 players playing on each other. I don't know what that's about. But you can see there. So they were trying to just pack the middle. Basically 5 players down the middle. There was more than 5, 7. The 2 centre backs pushed up. The 3 centre midfielders and the 2 forwards dropping back. Just having a chunk of players in the middle, trying to just overrun us in the middle. It didn't quite work. Yeah, so that's what they were talking about, and it's shown there. Let's have a look at passing types. Now, this is unusual. We normally get massively outpassed, but we didn't yesterday. So 410 to 435. So a little bit more than us. 23 crosses for us, 20 for them. 2 through balls each. 65 long balls for us, 63 for them. 320 short passes for us, 350 for them. So pretty similar. Average pass streak 4 for each. So yeah, pretty similar teams there. The way they're playing, what they're doing, all similar. As you can see on the left hand side, the top 5 players are all Millwall players. Yes. So let's get into that and look at what the players have done. So there's the attendance in the middle, 11,389. Not too bad for a weeknight after some very poor performances. I did go with a bit of a dread. I assumed it would be another draw and another poor display. If you look in the top sides, you can see where the badges are. See the average player rating for each club: 6.91 for Millwall, 6.47 for Bristol City. So our players rated better than theirs. And you can see the star man of the match, Danny Ballard. Finally gets a man of the match for himself. He's been consistently in the top 3 players rated for Millwall over the last games. If you don't believe me, go back and look through my stats videos. They're all marked up. They're in a playlist as well, called Stats Videos, I believe, on the channel, so you can check that out if you want. So according to this website, Shea Ojo 6.5. That's because, well, he did get taken off early, so he didn't have as much time as everyone else to play, and we played better in the second half than we did in the first half, attacking wise, so he missed most of that. Malone 6.6. He couldn't really put any crosses in. I did take a few corners, but yeah. So Smith 6.7 as well. So yeah, so all 3 players that got subbed off were the ones with the lowest score. So yeah, I imagine, and you would think that probably means it was the right call, although Malone was an injury. The right call from the manager to sub those players with their scores being so low. Yeah, so let's have a quick go through the total shots. Afobe, Malone. Okay. And possession? Saville, yeah, he was very good. 5% of the match position just for him. Ballard, that helps him. It helped him probably get that score up. 5.4 for Hutch, 5.3 for Wallace. So yeah, our defense really getting on that on the ball and taking charge of the game. James for them 7.3, the highest of everyone on the pitch. Pass success 74-74 for both teams. Shea Yojo, there's the quality, there's the Premier League player. 88% pass completion accuracy. Smith 29, that's not good. That's not good. Afobe 81. And everyone else high 70s. Even Biakowski up at 50. That's quite good for him. He's normally high 30s or low 40s with his long balls. So that's quite good for him. Moving on, dribbles. If it'll load, hello. Okay, there you go. Yeah, McNamara. Yeah, he did very well coming forward at times. Aerials won 36-28. So Atkinson got 10, Smith got 9, but our back 3. Meat and drink 5, 4, and 6. Even Saville 4. That was pretty good. Tackles 16-13. Afobe and Smith no tackles. Everyone else a tackle. Even Ojo. Surprisingly, Hutch and Wallace not a lot of tackles. Mitchell 2 when he come on, which is good. Corners 4-6. Yeah, Malone took all the corners. Dispossessed. So 9-5. That's not good. So dispossessed is having the ball taken off of you. Okay. So yeah, let's just jump in and see more of that, but different. A few extra bits. So touches. Danny Ballard. Then Murray Wallace. Then George Saville. Then Scott Malone, even though he went off 6 minutes earlier. So there you can see. And how does that compare to? I imagine it's pretty similar. So yeah, pretty similar to them. Afobe at the woodwork. That's what that little cross and staple means. Right, so let's look at shots. So we've got 7 players with shots. These 7 players. Shots on target though, only 3. So we could have realistically only had 3 shots, 3 goals. Benik Afobe hit the woodwork, yeah. And then he had the one-on-one. So the woodwork doesn't count as on target, because it needs to be literally on the target. So that would be the one on target that he had was the one-on-one that hit that the goalkeeper saved. Jed Wallace, the one on target was the penalty, which he scored. And then Billy Mitchell. So 33.3% of our shots on target we scored. So that sounds quite good, but when you have, what is it, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shots, and only so you have 11 shots, 3 are on target, so that's basically 30%, and then of them only 1 scores, so that's basically 33%. It's like a numbers game, isn't it? You've got to get a certain number of shots in order to get a certain number of shots on target, in order to get a certain number of goals, because the margins of the percentages of what you're going to get is a kind of lower than what it is. So you need to have 20 shots to have 10 shots on target to have 4 goals or 3 goals, whatever. that kind of thing. So however many shots you have, then it goes down to you're gonna have less shots on actually on target, and of those shots that you actually have on target, it shrinks even further to how many actual goals you get. So that's kind of the point. Do we want to just send unscheduled touches? Unscheduled touches basically poor ball control. So all these players, Benicophobe 5, yeah, he was kind of a bit jittery. He had the two really good chances, one in the barn, the one-on-one that was missed. He should have done that. He had a bit of a 2 at the end of the game with one of their players. He was on loan with them. I think it wasn't last season. This was the season before. So I don't know if there's a bit of beef there or what the fuck's going on, but something. I think maybe he was trying too hard, or he was thinking about trying too hard. If that makes sense. Like it was on his mind that I want to do it today. I want to do it, and it didn't really work for him. Then you got Jules Saville, who was like something happened to him. I don't know why. He was like the old Jules Saville. He was all fired up, and he was like on it from the start. Really good from Jules Saville. Defensively, so here we go. Total tackles: Ballard, Saville, McNamara, Evans, Billy Mitchell. Nice. And all of these players have tackles. The only one who didn't have a tackle, Biakowski, Afobe, Matt Smith, and Jake Cooper, and Jed Wallace. But everyone else had a tackle. Interceptions: Sean Hutchinson, nice. And these players here. Clearances: Sean Hutchinson 5, Danny Ballard 5, Murray Wallace 4, Matt Smith 2. Yeah, Matt Smith defensively did from their set pieces, because they did have 5 set pieces. Matt Smith getting on the his head on a couple of them and getting them away. That would be that. I assume what they are. You can see here all the way down to Shea Yojo. We've got 9 players making clearances. Block shots. 5 block shots, 1 apiece for these players. And fouls. So I imagine it's giving away a foul. I think it's giving away a foul. I could look. Fouls committed, yeah, fouls committed. So these players giving away fouls. Okay. Moving on now to the last passing. Key passes. It's these 6 players. Total passes. So 54 from Ballard, 44 Hutch, 41 Murray Wallace, 40 George Saville, and it goes down. Shea Yojo only 17, Matt Smith 14, Jed Wallace 10, Jay Cooper 5, Billy Mitchell 5. Okay. So pass accuracy. So that's why Shea Yojo's 88.2 as well. He only has 17 passes. So the less you do them well, you get your score up. But Jake Cooper 80, Billy Mitchell 80, but it's only 5 passes. So in terms of actual probably good passing award, you'd probably have to give it to probably Danny Ballard and Sean Hutchinson. 50 to have 54 passes, 77.8, or maybe George Evans, because he's playing further up the pitch and there's more Bristol City players around. 38 passes, 79% accuracy. Probably him. That's good passing. Crosses. What the fuck is happening there? Crosses. So crosses 8 for Scott Malone. He took the 4 corners we had, but only 2 were accurate. So only 2 found a Mill player. Shea Yojo 3 and 1. Murray Wallace 3 and 0. And if he's playing a left wing back against Barnsley, he needs to do better than that. McNamara 2 and 0. George Evans 2 and 1. Jules Saville 2 and 0. But Nicofobi 1 and 0. Danny Ballard 1 and 1. Sean Hutchinson 1-0. So not the best. Not the best there in terms of crossing. Long balls though. So Biakowski with his goal kicks 20-9. That's nearly, yeah, that's nearly half. Just under half. And it seems so he had 3 short passes as well. So he had 23 passes, 20 were long balls. I assume goal kicks or free kicks from offside. So he had 3 short passes, so that's bumped his score up to 52. Murray Wallace 9-4. Danny Ballard 8-3. Sean Hutchinson 6-5. George Evans 5-4. 5-3. 4-1. 2-2. All the way down. So the long balls, they were better with the long balls. At the crosses, not so much. And now, like I said in last stats video, in terms of crosses, they're probably just trying to whip the ball into a danger area instead of hitting a man. Because you hit a man, what are they going to do? Like, you cross it onto them. Like, if it's Matt Smith, you cross it to him and he heads it on goal. But if it's not that situation, if it's a break, if it's a counter, you don't cross to the player because they're still in movement. So you cross to where they're going to be. So that's going to affect the accuracy of the crosses. So that's where the stats kind of, they don't really tell the story. So you could cross and have a good cross, but it's just someone putting it in a danger area, expecting someone to make a run, or that they've done their run and just to get a little bit further, and maybe it just doesn't happen. But so that's probably that. So yeah, I think let's have a look at the ratings again. There you go. George Evans second, above Sean Hutchinson. Not bad. Six Millwall players with 7 or more. That's not bad. Danny Ballard 7.62. Yeah, everyone getting a decent score. Everyone getting a decent score, and you can see here, like I said before, if a substitute gets a higher score than the player they've replaced, but just missing out, Billy Mitchell 6.44. He replaced Shea Yojo, got 6.47. But you can say Billy Mitchell got that score in 20 minutes. That's Shea Yojo got 72 minutes. So yeah, there you go. So that's it. That's it for the stats for Millwall 1, Bristol City 0. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.